This is a signed location contract for vending machine services. This is another one. It's what we call partnership agreements. One is for a middle school with 600 students. The other is for two schools, one high school with 600 students and a middle school with 500 students. Three schools, 1,600 students, one client, signed within days of each other. Now I want to tell you how these got signed and by who. Not a sales expert, not a guy with 10 years of vending experience under his belt, not someone who woke up one morning and decided all of a sudden, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. An introvert, a first-timer to the vending industry. Someone who, by his own admission, was uncomfortable talking to people he didn't know. That's the story I'm telling today. What I'm about to show you exposes the fundamental lie at the center of the vending industry. And I'll show you with real documentation what a location-first business looks like when it's built the right way. My name is Ryan O'Keefe, founder of Vending Accelerator, creator of high traffic location mastery. My system has placed over 600 vending machines in less than 2 years that generate over $20 million in sales for my clients. And today we're going to dive deep on two real partnership agreements executed by one of my clients, a certified free healthy vending operator. And I'll show you exactly what his story reveals about what this model makes possible, even if you've never sold a thing in your life. I want to start off with who my client is. His name is Bishwash, and his story is the story I built this entire system for. When he initially came to me, he was a certifiable newcomer to vending, just laid off in the IT industry, zero background in vending.
I internalized things, and that's how I've been. My background was software engineering. I quit my job. I was actually laid off, and I got a 3 months severance package.
No entrepreneurial or business ownership background whatsoever, and zero sales experience. He had no existing relationships at schools, at YMCAs, hospitals, or any other high traffic location, and he's a self-described introvert. And I say that not as a weakness. I say it because that's who this system was built for. High trust, reserved professionals who have never felt comfortable with sales, with cold calling, or the performative hustle that the entire online business world has been peddling for the last decade plus. Bishwash fit that profile exactly. And I want to be clear about something. I sat down and interviewed him on camera. You can watch that video here. And what he described wasn't just a business result, he described a transformation. What this program gave him wasn't just income, it was something he had never expected. The ability to walk into a room with a school principal or district director of food service and show up with real presence and authority. Not because he became a salesperson, frankly, because he stopped needing to be one. His first location secured, 3 machines, high traffic, high trust location. It generates him between $10,000 to $12,000 a month in sales. Let that sit for a second. 3 vending machines, 1 location, a first-timer to the industry who describes himself as introverted. $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a month. This isn't a fluke. This is what foot traffic economics looks like when the location is right. And securing the right location is precisely what my system does. Now, let me show you why Bishwash's result, while never an exception here at Vending Accelerator, is the exception in the vending industry, and why this exception exists by design. Companies like Healthy You Vending, Naturals To Go Vending, Healthier For You Vending all operate from the same exact model. They buy machines from manufacturers for $4,000 or $5,000 a unit. They package all these together in bundles, typically 5 machines, 10 machines, sometimes as high as 20 machines at a time. Now, they mark this equipment up to $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $11,000 per machine, and they sell you this bundle of machines as a business in a box. That means a 10 machine package, they're collecting somewhere between $40,000 to $60,000 when at the point of sale. $40,000 to $60,000 of profit. Let that sink in for a moment. Here's what I need you to understand. That is their business model, not your success, not your locations, not your revenue 18 months from now, the point of sale. This is where their money is made. That is where their incentive ends. And the people selling these $50,000 machine packages as a business opportunity right now, they're hoping you never see this video and understand what this really looks like. So what do you get for all of that money? You get machines. You get generic training on how to approach locations. They make it sound way easier than it is. And you get a phone number to call when you're struggling, which statistically you will be. Because what they've handed you is a machine-first model in a world where location is everything. They have no meaningful location standards. Don't believe me? Ask them about foot traffic. Ask them how the vending competition at the locations you're going to go into are removed. Ask them about average machine revenue per client, not earnings claims, but the real numbers, the data. Because wouldn't you think for a company who claims to be motivated by your success, they'd have the data to back it up from their prior clients before you? What they'll tell you is that you need to sell products at a $6 premium price. And operators who haven't figured this out yet are gonna fail. No. You don't need to sell products at $6. What these companies really have is no institutional trust, no program that a school principal, a YMCA director, or a hospital administrator looks at and thinks, we want this in our building. You are a stranger with a machine asking for wall space that they sold you as a $50,000 business opportunity. And now, companies like Healthy U Vending and Naturals To Go Vending, they've got a new pitch. AI smart coolers. Sounds like the future. Sounds like they solved something. It's the same machine-first model with self-checkout, auto-locking doors, and AI cameras positioned as innovation. The economics haven't changed. The location standards haven't changed. The fundamental problem that a machine without a high-trust, high-traffic location is just expensive equipment collecting dust hasn't changed. They reskinned the product. They didn't solve the problem. Calling it an AI cooler doesn't make a break room at a low-traffic office building perform. Certainly not like a school hallway with 600 students walking past it every day does. Location is the asset. It's always been the asset. The machine is the tool. Now let's look at what Bishwash actually executed and why these agreements, contracts, represent something categorically different from what the machine-first companies send their operators out to get. 3 schools in Wayne County, Michigan signed in March of 2026. We've got a compliance clause. As a certified free healthy vending operator, Bishwash agrees to stock only 100% compliant items at the federal guidelines for schools. This isn't a nice to have. This is why doors open. Schools have been burned by vending operators who couldn't meet the federal nutritional standards, or who said they would and then they didn't. Bishwash walks in pre-certified under a nationally recognized program and brand in free healthy vending, one that serves over 250,000 students across 27 U.S. states every single day. The resistance that kills every vending pitch dissolves before it ever forms. That's the difference between pitching vending and a location decision maker discovering something they never knew existed in a vending program. Then there's exclusivity. He received exclusive rights to operate at those schools. No competing vending machines cutting into volume, sales, or profit. One operator, one standard, protected. And there's profit sharing. The percentage of gross profits go back to the schools. That's not charity, that's alignment. But here's where the rest of the industry makes a major mistake. They speak in terms of percentages, not performance. We replace Coke, Pepsi, Aramark, legacy vendors, companies who offer 20 to 25 to 30% commissions. We don't offer higher percentages. Actually, on the contrary, it's a much less percentage, but we do outperform them. And our performance outproduces their higher percentages every day of the week. And we've got, guess what? The data to prove it. The school now has a financial reason to want these machines to perform. This is now turned into a relationship. The relationship stops being transactional and becomes a partnership. The decision maker becomes an advocate. And then the foot traffic, 1,600 students plus staff plus any visitors that come in, 3 vending machines in total. This is foot traffic economics this whole system is built around. Not 10 machines in 10 mediocre locations, 3 machines in the right high traffic locations with the potential to add another $9,000 to $10,000 of sales to his business. The business is already generating over $10,000 a month from his first 3 machines installed. Now compare this to a new vending operator who just bought a 10 machine package for well over $100,000, got handed a list of cold call scripts and trying to get a return phone call from a secretary. These are not the same business. They're not even in the same category. Here's what I want you to understand about why Bishwash could close on 2 school districts as a first-timer who doesn't describe himself as a salesman. He didn't get these contracts executed because he got better at selling. He got executed because he stopped needing to sell. He used the magic phrase to earn the meeting. He's not pitching. He's not persuading. He's presenting a solved problem to someone at a high traffic, high trust location who already has a problem. When he walks through our 6-figure location brochure, what they see and hear takes over. All he needs to do is read what's already in front of him on each and every page. It doesn't ask for the sale. It reframes the entire conversation. It says on behalf of every broken promise, every non-compliant vending operator, every stocked wrong machine that got unplugged, we fixed all of those problems. The decision maker stops becoming a gatekeeper. They become a logistics partner who wants to know how soon installation can happen. How quickly can they get these machines? And that's why an introvert, a first-timer with zero sales background, can walk in multiple schools with signed 3-year agreements. The system does what personality can't, and personality was never the requirement. I've been doing this long enough to know what most people are really looking for when they look at vending. It's not the machines. It's not even the income, not ultimately anyway. It's proof that they can build something on their own terms, that they don't have to be a different kind of person to create a different kind of life. When I interviewed Bishwash, what struck me most wasn't the revenue number. I already knew those numbers were going to hit. As impressive as $11,000, $12,000 a month is from just 3 vending machines at your first location, it was what he said about who he became through the process.
Before investing, I was anxious, nervous. I internalized things, thinking about every possibility, how to get over it, calculating everything. I've been in operation for 2 weeks and I feel free. I've learned that people are just people. They go through every sort of emotion like you do, and if you talk to them, you try to understand them, communication, and you know how to take the other person as you are and be comfortable talking to them.
Yep.
I think you've got it.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for Free Healthy Vending and Brian, you yourself, your team and your support system, and to bring someone like me from that stage to here. I feel grateful.
Completely different man. He came in as someone who didn't think he could walk into a room with decision makers and show up as a trusted authority and not a sales guy. He left as someone who had done exactly that, now multiple times, with signed location contracts, partnership agreements to show for it. That's the thing about building on precision instead of hustle. You don't have to perform a version of yourself you've never been comfortable with being. You just have to execute the system. The vending industry has spent years, decades, selling you the wrong asset. They made you believe the machine was the business. The machine's not the business. The location's the business. It always has been. The standard is the leverage. The system is what makes the doors open, even for someone who would never describe themselves as a salesperson. Bishwash didn't need 10 machines to prove this model. He needed 1 high-traffic, high-trust location. Now he's got 3 high-traffic, high-trust locations, all with institutional partnership agreements protecting his investment contracts, and a system that made those locations accessible without cold calling, without sales ads, without funnels, without emails, without scripts, and without Bishwash pretending to be someone he's not. That sounds like a version of what you've been looking for in the vending industry. The link below will get you started. It's not for everyone, but maybe it's the exact fit for you.